Hello, and welcome to Author Capital's very first online writers conference. I'm Rachel Huffmire, one of the co-founders, and the entire team and I are thrilled to have such an amazing assortment of creatives gathered here. That includes you. It doesn't matter if you're new to the art of creative writing or if you have a long backlist of published novels. We're all gathered here for the same reason, and that's to become more effective and quality storytellers. I've been working in the book and publishing industry since 2007, and you want to know what I see as creativity's greatest villain? That's right, you have a villain chasing your creativity, trying to halt it in its tracks. And that villain is the depressing fog of imposter syndrome. Now, what is imposter syndrome and why is it so inevitable for every creative? Imposter syndrome is that little voice in the back of your head that sounds a lot like you, that tells you that you're not good enough, that you're not qualified, that the work that you have done is fooling everyone because you're obviously an utter fraud. Now tell me that's not evil. And yet we find ourselves facing this villain again and again because that's the industry we're in. Sharing our creativity is incredibly vulnerable, and so it's going to open us up to these kind of thoughts again and again. Believe me, I'm not free of this villain either, but it is possible to develop a good immune system against this villain. That way, when he shows up on your doorstep, you know how to close the door on him instead of inviting him in and allowing him to redecorate your home. I've studied hours and hours of psychology-based research, neuroscience, self-help books that are focusing on mindset and positivity. I've spoken with therapists and creatives in the community, all in an effort to learn everything I can about imposter syndrome so that I can help strengthen the creative community against it. And that's why I'm here today, to share these things with you so that you can begin today to employ these tactics and strengthen yourself against imposter syndrome rather than waiting for it to show up on your doorstep and try to shut you down. We're going to start by focusing on what's going on inside our heads and how can we strengthen the positive neural pathways inside our mind and abandon those negative highways that imposter syndrome has probably already built. Next, we're going to focus on how to build your inner and outer identity. Identifying as a strong, contributing, and inspiring author might feel like something that has to be earned, but we're going to talk about how you don't have to wait until you achieve that end goal in order to begin identifying now as the ideal. In fact, it's better in the long run for your success if you begin identifying right now. And finally, we're going to talk about one of the secrets of how to become the most confident writers in the industry. And no, it doesn't include having a huge ego. So come and watch this keynote address so that you can learn how to become stronger than imposter syndrome, so it doesn't stop you from telling those beautiful stories that only you can tell.